Hi, everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all well. We are having the strangest weather. We had 2 days of sunshine with temperatures of 33 and 34, and today is semi overcast with a chilly breeze. Strange, very strange. Anyway, my stress levels are like the weather. One day I think, oh well, we are screwed. I can just as well accept it and stop worrying. And the next day I tell myself I have to pick myself up by the collar and continue working and continue fighting because I can't give up. Because it's not all about me. There is still old Dragon Man and a handful of animals who still depend on me. We still have not found a home, and rentals are priced out of the range of the average family. And when it is semi affordable, it is in a nasty area, too small, or we can't take the dogs. Oh, buying using the money I put away from the sale of my cottage is basically our only option, with a bit of a loan from the bank. But homes in our price range are scarce and plucked up by developers before I can get dressed and get into my car. But anyway, it is too late now to try and save up 1 million for a better or more options, so we will just have to keep on looking, keep on trying. So, let's talk royals. And when I say royals, I mean it is time again for serious talking, very serious talking. I have basically just finished reading the story of Princess Helena, daughter of Queen Victoria, and how, although she was the Queen's fifth child at one point, she was the eldest of the Queen's 9 children to still be alive. So, without sounding like a prophet of doom, we have to be realistic, shed the fairy dust, and see things for what they are. Here in South Africa, a republic, an independent nation, we have a president and his cabinet and the opposition. But the Zulu nation, for instance, also have a king. The Zulu king had very little political influence, a little in the sense that he was recognized as a leader of his people. But that was basically it. We as South Africans thus understand what a constitutional monarchy means, not only because we were a British colony and because we remain linked to Britain through family and the Commonwealth, but also because we have a similar form of monarchy under the Zulu nation, with the only difference being that the Zulu king does not have nearly as much influence and power nationally or internationally as the British king has. You can't even begin to compare it. However, I grew up in KwaZulu Natal, the traditional home of the Zulu, and while we still had the greats like King Goodwill Swelithini and Chief Mangasutu Buthelezi leading the Zulus, there was a form of pride, of self-respect under the Zulu people, and therefore they also had the respect of other South Africans and other nations, even outside of our borders. But since the death of King Goodwill, there had been a rapid decline in discipline, decorum, etc., as the battle for the crown has now even reached the courts. Now, like I said only a minute earlier, one cannot even begin to compare the influence of the Zulu king to that of King Charles III. But the principle I wish to explain remains exactly the same. While there is trust and respect, there is order and loyalty. Once that trust and respect is lost, there is desperation and chaos. And that, my friends, just is what it is. King Charles spoke of Britain being a community of communities only a few days ago. He also spoke of shared values. And you know what? He is 100% correct. It is the sense of community and shared values which holds us together. And our leaders should act like a chairperson or facilitator. It is up to our leaders, be it a prime minister, president, a king, an archbishop. It does not matter what title they have, but they need to call and bring communities together to make us feel like we belong, and even more importantly, to lead by example. So why on earth am I throwing two such random topics together in one video? Here is why. Queen Victoria never expected one of her children to die before her. No one does. But if we look at how many mothers lost their children, not just in the wars raging around the world at the moment, but also due to illness, accidents, and a multitude of other reasons. And I don't mean to depress any of you, but nothing is guaranteed in life, and every day that we are alive is a blessing. And if the royals think that because of their social standing and position of power, they are immune or will be spared from everything which ails us normal folk, they are wrong, very wrong. And their history and things like the sudden death of Diana should prove this to them. Okay, so where am I going with this? I said this before and I'm going to repeat it for effect. The first in line to the throne, Prince William. The second in line to the throne, Prince George. Third in line, Princess Charlotte. Fourth, Prince Louis. Are all from the same household. All from one household. Let me repeat it for effect. One, O-N-E, household. Add to that the fact that it is 8 to 11 years before George can legally act independently as king. Yes, he can become king almost any time, but he can only act as king once he becomes 18 and only sign legal documents once he turns 21. So God forbid anything should happen to William in the next 11 years, because if it should, we will have a regency on our hands. And guess who that regent will be? The next in line to the throne who is older than 21. And who may that be? None other than Harry. Yes, as sick as it may make us, Prince Henry will become regent, and only an act of parliament at the time can stop it. And doing so, they will need a very good reason. Yes, parliament can prevent Harry from becoming regent, but will they get a majority vote to do so? Do you trust that they will? Yes, and Parliament can appoint someone else as regent. Uncle Edward, Auntie Anne, or even the young king's mother. But as things stand, and unless this stringent action is taken, Harry will be king regent or regent king, I don't know what the correct term is, until George turns 21. And guys, you can laugh and think it will never happen, but it has happened before. All you need to do is to go watch a video titled Crimes and Mysteries linked to the British Royal Family Part 4, The Princess in the Tower. Remember Meghan fantasizing that they are only one plane crash away from the throne, and everyone chorused that she was delusional? Remember that? Well, she wasn't as delusional as many may think. It could literally take one accident or one act of terror to make her dream come true. And even if Parliament should start the process against them, can any of you imagine the amount of publicity she will get out of it? It will be recording a history-making event in the tabloids on a daily basis. It will turn Meghan Markle into a martyr forever. Okay, now this is the most horrific scenario any of us could possibly imagine. But as you saw when Harry and Meghan were met on the tarmac where the private plane landed in Atlanta, they were met by Homeland Security and Customs, they are still being treated as royals, regardless of whether they are popular or not, because it's not about them. They could be walking on all fours and grunt, and they will still be treated like this and given a measure of security during all their visits and events, because it's about diplomatic relations, and nobody wants the son of a British king to come to harm in their city. I mean, fifth in line to the throne, but currently, although legally and historically fifth, Harry could just as well have been second after his brother, at least until George turns 18. Imagine somebody that important or high ranking coming to harm in your city. And that is exactly why they will receive this kind of treatment until those titles are stripped. And I personally think that is exactly why the king will not do it, or will try not to step up and do it for as long as possible. Now, guys, do you see and understand why it is of the utmost importance that King Charles III deal with his youngest son immediately? Not next year or the year after or the year after that. Remember what happened to William's namesake, the other Prince William. None of us walk out of our homes thinking that we may not return. And if we did, we'd likely stay in bed for the rest of our lives and never ever get up again. Well, royalty is not exempt from anything which can befall any of us. Therefore, it is time King Charles stops putting all of this off. Stop running to France and Transylvania when his son is in town. This needs to be sorted. Anyway, just a bit of gossip before I go. I was told that Meghan and Harry was spotted at a restaurant in Los Angeles, either yesterday evening, thus Thursday evening, or Wednesday evening. I'm sorry, guys, my days this week is completely messed up, but I was told this yesterday. So when exactly it took place, I don't know. But if it is true, then it means they traveled from Atlanta to Los Angeles, likely with the same private jet which they used to travel from St. Vincent and the Grenadines to Atlanta. Anyway, it also means that they stayed over if they went to a restaurant in the evening. So they were clearly in no rush to get back to their children. Oh my goodness. You see, yet another reason why King Charles needs to sort out his son. And then he needs to do something about those children. I don't know about you, but my nerves can't handle it anymore. You know what? I came home one evening and found two children huddled in my garage door. They were not even related to me, but I did not just leave them there. I did something about it. Now, the king, or dear king, you can go and do something about these two flowers in the attic in Montecito. Okay, guys, so that's all I have to say about that, at least for now. So until we meet again on the next one, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.